Hi, this is Brian from Riverside Reptiles Education Center. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe at the end of this video. So today I'm going to introduce you to one of our newest geckos. She's not on exhibit yet. I have her right here. This is a new Caledonian Giant Gecko, also known as a lychee gecko. So I'm going to attempt to get her out without being bitten. She's a little defensive when she's in her enclosure, but once we get her out, she's typically fine. We're going to talk a little bit about their natural history, where they're found, their longevity, and we'll touch a little bit on their folklore, because there's a lot of cool stories on these animals in their native range. And we'll talk a little bit about lychee geckos in captivity. All right, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Typically, I'd have a leather glove because these guys can bite hard. I don't have, the only leather gloves I have are super heavy leather gloves I use for some of my venomous work. So I don't have anything thin enough to really get a hold on her. So I'm gonna do my best about getting bit, but if I do get bit, hey, it'll make for good video, I guess. Another neat thing about lychee geckos is when they get a little defensive, they'll make a bark or a chirping sound. So she might do that as I'm trying to get her out. So fingers crossed I don't get bit on my fingers. We're gonna see. Here she comes. She's looking a little defensive. She's not sure what's going on right now. So I'm going to very gently try and roll her off onto my hand. Oops, see how she licked her tongue? Don't bite me. Now, I've handled a lot of geckos in my life. And little geckos like house geckos, Madagascar day geckos, leopard geckos. If they get a little agitated and bite you, no big deal. If these guys bite you, similar to tokay geckos, it does hurt. You do feel it. I'm just going to try and get her onto my hand. Come on. There she comes. Awesome. That one worked rather well. So this is the new Caledonian Giant Gecko. Again, also known as a lychee gecko, because that is their scientific name. So they're only found on the island of New Caledonia, and there's a couple small islands surrounding it. But New Caledonia is kind of north of Australia in the South Pacific. Now these guys are 100% arboreal. That means they live up in the trees. And they've got great sticky toe pads like other species of geckos, and they are pretty good jumpers as well. One thing you might notice on these lychee geckos is their camouflage. Look at their skin. It looks like tree bark and lichen. Perfect camouflage. When these guys are stuck to a tree, you could easily walk by one. So in captivity, these guys have been known to live upwards of 20 years, sometimes a little bit more. And they are omnivores. So they eat a variety of insects and smaller animals, but they'll also eat fruit and nectar and sap in the wild. Now, these guys come also with some really neat folklore. On the island of New Caledonia, the people that live there believe that these geckos, it's pretty cool, they're actually kind of like steal their soul. So if they see a lychee gecko, they're not big fans of them. I'm not sure if they kill them or just pretty much leave them alone, but the folklore over there is that these giant geckos, if you see one, they will steal your soul. So many species of geckos can vocalize. They have vocal cords and they can make different sounds. So lychee geckos, when they're agitated, thankfully I didn't get her too agitated when I got her out of the enclosure, but they can growl these low guttural sounds that will let you know that they're not happy with you or they'll start to be a little defensive. So lychee geckos as pets. Yeah, they do make pretty good pets. They're relatively easy to keep. They don't need extreme temperatures. In fact, they prefer temperatures in the mid-70s. They like it fairly humid. But again, go to a good resource and get a great care sheet. There's a lot of good Leachianus gecko breeders here in the United States, and they all have great information. Be prepared though to pay a lot of money for a baby lychee gecko. Babies range anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Sometimes even a bit more. They are nocturnal as well, so again, you're not going to be observing the gecko doing too many things during the day, mostly active at night. But otherwise than that, they can be semi-calm, although you will get some lychee geckos that do not tolerate being handled. Thankfully, she's pretty easygoing, but overall, yeah, they do make pretty good pets. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks again. This is Brian from Riverside Reptiles and our lychee gecko. Where are you going? Hello? I can't get you when you're not that flexible. I have to actually push my arm up over my shoulder to get her.